Joe Douglas doing the worst job of keeping the worst kept secret a secret.
Inside, and beauty! Hall, running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and we're going to be talking about this. Absolutely, we're going to talk about this. Well, if you don't know what we're talking about, at an event for WFAN, which is a New York sports radio or something along those lines, I'm not 100% sure like what it is exactly. Boomer Esiason was doing a panel in front of a bunch of people, and Joe Douglas was there. And at the end of the interview and the conversation or whatever it was, there's a little highlight of a clip of Boomer Esiason embracing, Joe Douglas, and then pandering to the crowd a little bit and going, "Hey, Joe, what's happening with Aaron Rodgers? Is he going to be a Jet?" And Joe Douglas laughs it off and then gives the answer, which is, he's going to be here. Don't worry about it. And again, this is one of those things of, we know how Joe Douglas runs a tight-lipped ship. The first thing he did as general manager was figure out which scouts were the leaked and fired them. Like, immediately. He runs a tight-lipped ship. Tell me how not a single person knew that Quentin Jefferson was going to be a New York Jet. None of the media people broke it. Adam Schefter didn't break it. Note, the Jets were the team that announced it. Like, they were like, hey, here it is. Here's our new guy. No one talked about a visit. No one talked about interest. Nothing. They just signed him. So we know that Joe Douglas runs a tight-lipped ship. And the biggest reason for that is he doesn't want anything leaking or making it out to the public or doing anything like that. So for him to go out and say this in public, one, it isn't that big of a deal because we all kind of knew and expected that this was going to happen, right? Like, anybody with half a brain knew that the Green Bay Packers don't have another partner in this trade scenario because Aaron Rodgers said that he wants to be a Jet. Green Bay knows that the New York Jets don't have another option outside of Aaron Rodgers. Like, this deal is going to happen. This is just news because this just solidifies the fact that, like, we know it's going to happen. My new expectation is I'm starting to tend to agree with Mike Florio of PFT, which I think this deal happens on day 2 of the draft. Probably when the one of the picks that they're supposed to get is on the board, whether it's 42 or 43, that's probably when the trade is going to happen. One, because it doesn't let any team get in front of Green Bay to maybe try to get a player that they were looking at. But two, like, there is no rush for anybody not named the Green Bay Packers to make this trade immediately. If the Green Bay Packers don't want a 2023 asset, okay, 2 second-round picks is awesome. If they do want a 2023 asset, like, there's the time to do it. So it's either going to happen between days 1 and day 2, or it's going to happen on day 2 at this point. I don't see why either team is going to rush to do the deal. The conversations are happening, and if you can wait to the witching hour to get the deal done, and it helps out every team in the situation because it just gives you leverage in that situation. A great example is we're seeing a lot of mocks. Now, I don't tend to believe this, but we're seeing some mocks where, like, Will Levis falls out of the top 10 and makes it to, like, 15, 16, 17, and things like that. Well, if you're Joe Douglas, you can sell the idea of drafting Will Levis. You're not going to, and in no world should you do that, but you can sell that idea. The same thing with, like, an offensive tackle at 13, and we've talked about that before, right? Like, you can sell the idea of doing certain things because, like, we don't have a quarterback. Maybe we can have those conversations at 13. But the same thing can happen at 42. Green Bay could be looking at a wide receiver. What happens if they don't go tight end at 15? What happens if they go edge and try to address that defense and one of those tight ends makes it there? Well, we all know that Green Bay really, really wants a tight end, and this class is chock full of them. Well, like, if you trade out or you trade for 43 and it's way ahead of time, a team can jump at 41, a team can jump at 42 to try to get in front of you, like the New York Jets did last year with Houston for Brees Hall. We knew that Houston was going to take a running back, and Brees Hall was the best running back available. So what do? We jumped in front of Houston to get Brees Hall. And so, again, we know that this deal is going to happen. This made me feel really confident that the deal is going to happen. My expectation is day 2 of the draft, we're going to see it happen. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. And last but not least, go Jets.